Alright guys, this is gonna be a weird video because I'm gonna edit it and it's gonna be on Zen's channel, but this is our first impression of what we thought about The Division, because we played the beta. Zen's with me. Hello Zen, you can talk now.
Hi, Zen here.
I muted him because every time I was doing the intro he was saying something random, so it wasn't really happening. It's good to have you here, man.
Same, good to be here.
Especially wanted to talk to you about The Division because you are as hyped as I am. And you have played, I think, twice as much of the beta compared to me.
You know what it was? It was like a day and 17 hours and like 35 minutes.
About 41 hours. Holy shit. Even if
Yeah.
you don't play the game which you pre-ordered, I think you've already got your money's worth.
And I want more.
Yeah, you want. First of all, I think I should give some sort of a disclaimer with the fact that Zen and I have been anticipating this game for a long time now. When did you get on the hype train?
I don't remember exactly when it was, but it was definitely before Christmas because
Right.
I didn't. It was like a few months before Christmas.
So you have been on this hype train for like the last 5-6 months almost.
Yeah, give or take.
Okay. Yeah, and I've been on this hype train since like they unleashed it on E3. That was like 2 years
Since
ago.
you heard about it.
Since I heard about
Yeah.
it, yeah. I mean, the hype was really high on E3 and then it died down. But I was always looking forward to this game coming out. But
Right.
considering the amount of expectation we had from this game, I guess we can honestly give our honest opinion in terms of how much we liked it. And we did play quite a bit of it.
Yeah.
So in general, we'll just tell you about how we thought the game turned out, and in summary would be whether we suggest that you buy the game or not. You know, if you haven't bought it already, if you're considering buying it, you know. So I'm just gonna touch on a few points, and I'm gonna be the questioner, and you can be the guy who answers the questions.
He's gonna touch on a few points.
First things first, that's on everyone's mind. Graphics. And not only graphics, they're talking about the graphics downgrade. Let me set the stage. They're talking about how on E3 it looked mind fucking blowing. And how do you think it looks now? You know, are you upset by the fact that it looks
In
different?
comparison.
Yeah, in general. What do you think about
I am not upset. I would say, if I would have been on that whole like, oh my god, it has to be that way, I would say more than anything, I'd be unsatisfied to some degree in the
Right.
sense of the change. But I'm not so much angry about it.
Right.
You know, disappointed. Like, yeah, okay, I wish it would have looked even nicer.
Mm-hmm.
Because visually you always want it to look nicer.
Yeah, who doesn't want it?
But where it's at now is not so bad that I don't like it, I don't enjoy it. I look at it even now watching our videos and I'm like, wow, you know, that game looks cool. Like, I look forward to the game when it releases so that we can continue playing. The downgrade in graphics isn't going to affect me. It wouldn't affect my purchase. I've seen games that are hella worse. So that would be my take on that.
So
Right.
you don't have a problem with the graphics. For me as well, I didn't really care about the graphics much. Of course, it looks much better on the PC, and there has been a downgrade from what they have shown on E3 and what's happening now. In general, there has been a downgrade. We all expected it to be, you know, downgraded. But again, it's like, in terms of my opinion, it's like cost and reward. Even if you want to play on the best settings on a PC, it's gonna cost you a lot of money to get that PC to run that thing. And honestly, after a while, a lot of time you'd just be concentrating on that minimap. I think it was engrossing. I mean, if you want an immersive experience, I guess whatever it has, it's enough. You mentioned there being lots of stuff like litter to like graffitis and everything. There's plenty of detail in the game. It comes out pretty well in the graphics that they have. There's dynamic weather. So overall,
Yeah,
we don't have a
that's
problem with the graphics, and we're
Yeah,
both
and
happy with it.
One
Yeah.
more final point on that too is the
Yeah.
fact that the game, it still has time to be released. I'm not saying that they can make a lot of changes in between now,
True,
but
true.
the fact that we don't have the final product, it's kind of hard to say. If we're just basing it on what we see now, you know, who's going to say that they're not going to
Yeah, there
change
might
it when
be.
it comes out.
There might be optimizations, yeah. But let's just hold on to the fact that maybe this is it. You know,
Right.
to be as strict as possible. So if it's gonna be better than this, great. But it can't get worse than this. Let's just hold it as like a
No.
benchmark for now. Yeah.
Praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord. But honestly, dude, at a point I wasn't even looking at the graphics or anything because once you play it long enough, you don't really
Mm-mm.
care about, oh, can
Yeah,
I
you're
see
not
this little
focused.
particle effect? Yeah, exactly. Because you're looking at the map, you're looking at your teammates, and the game is pretty intensive that you don't get the time to like, oh, let me just stand here and enjoy it. But if you do want to do that, remember at the end of the thing, I'll hopefully cut to that part right now. We were just chilling in the sun, the whole weather was changing and stuff. It looked pretty, even on the PlayStation. It looked great. One thing I do want to say is the fact that it's harder for them to make it look like what, in terms of graphics, what we understand is how beautiful it looks, and the entire palette of the game is grayscale, right? It's
Right.
snowy,
Right.
everything's dark, so you can't really get the Last of Us effect.
Apocalypse.
Yeah, yeah. The Last of Us made it beautiful because it had like the sun falling in, had green and all that. They can't do that, unfortunately.
Yeah,
But
I mean, and there were still some points though, like in Out of the Dark Zone, where the sunlight comes out and it
right,
actually looks pretty vibrant for a little while. It's not long lasting,
yeah. But you do
but you
appreciate
do
those
get those
moments.
points. Yeah, yeah,
There was
because
that
it's like
park
it's clear
too.
again. I don't feel like a thug's gonna come out and shoot me. I just feel like, oh look, it's normal for
uh,
5 minutes.
you said you saw
Yeah,
an
all that was
NPC inside a building.
inside of the building.
That was
That was the
unexpected.
freakily unexpected because you're running around the city. You're going around and you expect the buildings to just be plain buildings, and then you look and you see a window and you see somebody moving inside.
Yeah, it's good that they're making it feel more alive. Just random NPCs inside.
And what's cool is that she was actually like a 3D character too. It wasn't just like a poster board. You know,
Ah,
like have
yeah,
you ever played like those older games and like the
yeah,
crowd is like a flat, they're all flat.
yeah, 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 yeah. It's like basically cardboard cutouts at a distance. Yeah.
Yeah.
So overall, ratings on graphics. Does it break the
Thumbs up.
game?
The game is not broken.
Okay. It's good. We're figuring out our ranking. We'll get better, folks. We'll get better. So yeah, it doesn't break it for me too. I'm gonna stick to your shitty ass fucking rating. Part two. We're gonna go into what we call, I guess, in summary, would be gameplay and just replayability of the game itself.
Alrighty-o.
It's like a big umbrella over all a lot of smaller factors, but I'm gonna shoot one thing at a time to you, and you fire back. So, what did you think of the gameplay?
It brought enough variety for me to be happy with it overall. Um, as far as Tom Clancy games go, I've always enjoyed their shooter aspect, the whole hiding behind walls and being tactical.
Right.
I like the RPG element of it. Collecting loot, I think that's going to be one of the biggest things. Is
Yes.
it's not to be the whole game, but
Yeah.
it's a part of the fun. Oh look, I got a new gun. Oh look, cool mods. Like your gun is different than mine. Your clothes are different than mine. That's pretty sweet. So overall, I enjoyed the whole game itself. If I were to break it down to a basic answer.
Right. And loot, honestly, this is a loot-driven game. The main purpose is loot. So loot is gonna be a huge factor of the game itself. But as you said, it's the way we go about gaining this loot is pretty varied. In my opinion, from the short amount of things that we saw, I was having fun. You know, um,
Hmm. Me
cranking
too.
in cranking in 100 hours, 200 hours. I'm not sure. Maybe considering the fact that you already spent 40 hours in it.
Yeah, on the beta, I think maybe I overdid it. but but for the real game, depending on how many missions they give us,
Right.
depending on how many side missions there are, and then
Right.
depending on how active people are in the dark zone, will determine what we do. For my opinion on how it may continue, I have the feeling that them showing us the amount of content that they've showed us, that they have a lot more ready to go than what they're actually giving us. So regardless if I have to get it in a download or whatever, I think that if I'm provided with more space and more levels and more story missions, then I'm just going to keep playing it because I already like the element of the game. I'm
Right.
already thrilled about the world of it. So going into that, um, having more to do will just keep me in it longer.
Yeah, I share the same feeling with you as well. For me, on a basic point, just the gameplay felt very tight. The cover to cover mechanic,
Hmm.
recoil, the feel of the different guns, the satisfaction of getting a headshot, it was all satisfying. In
Definitely.
general, I came in with the sense that the enemies are going to be very spongy. That's one of the things that I did not like going into the game, but I was surprised
Hmm.
by the fact that how fun it was. They didn't feel spongy at all. They felt
Yeah, especially
tough.
once your guns get upgraded,
Yeah,
you have the capability of taking them down efficiently. Yeah.
the game itself felt very varied in terms of the missions that we had. But I would
Hmm.
say that's for you to defend right now. I would say, in my opinion, when I was playing the beta, we ran out of things to do, and I know they've been holding stuff back, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's limited. That's the thing to keep in mind
Yeah,
as
but
far as
it was like when I got my hands on Division, I ran it with you. I did everything and everything, and once everything was done, and even when the dark zone was starting to feel empty, I didn't have an incentive to go back, you know? If they
hmm.
don't give ample amount of content when the game comes out, which is going to be a lot more than what we got a taste of for sure. We didn't get the perks, we didn't get the whatevers, but what I'm trying to say is after a few hours, for an intense gamer like me who plays the game for a long period of time trying to get everything as fast as possible, do you think we're gonna feel like what we felt in Destiny? Do you think we're gonna feel like, oh shit, there's not much stuff to do? What do you think about
Well, if you rush it.
that? True, true. You gotta give it
um,
that. You gotta look at the hours being spent, anyways. Yeah, true.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I think that having like okay, so the skill tree that we got was extremely limited.
Yeah,
I think right there, just looking at that, knowing that we're going to have so much more, just imagine how much time that will take to acquire all of that and then
true.
to use it all and experiment with it and have fun with it. It's going to change the level of gameplay and interaction amongst players as well, because we were just doing like, oh, I'm a medic and I can heal my guy, or I could shoot a sticky bomb and I could bring out a shield.
I enjoyed the
When you're
sticky.
playing against other groups of people and they've unlocked more perks and we've unlocked more, that's going to change the whole way we attack, the way we defend, the way we play. So
Yeah,
it's
variation in
gonna,
gameplay. That is true. The skill tree was very limited. We don't even know what our perks are. We haven't even gotten hands on upgrading our bases to see what they give
yeah,
us.
crafting. It's gonna be fun.
There's gonna be a lot of content. You're right. Regardless of the fact that, there's DLC, and I don't know how you feel about the DLC coming up. Only after we have played the basic game can we actually say whether
Yeah,
they have enough content or not. We can't really judge it right now, but we can't hate on them for the fact that, oh, look, they're making DLC, because it's a thing now.
right.
Every game does that.
It is. It is.
Every game does
Everybody's trying
that.
to get on that.
Exactly. So as long as we got like a certain amount of hours in it, and I'm gonna go back to the fact
Yeah,
that you already played 40 of it, I don't think that
right.
should be an issue. Cool.
Yeah,
Cool. So
if they provide enough to make it feel like a full game in just what we purchased, and
right.
then the bonus of having everything else, then I'll be satisfied. With see the problem for me with Destiny, like when we compare it, Destiny didn't feel like another $30 and another $30 and another
You're
$30
right. You're
just to
right.
get somewhere.
I know this discussion is not supposed to be about Destiny. It's turning out to be Destiny.
Right, it's about the division.
It's about the division. But my biggest gripe was about Destiny was the fact that devs didn't know where they wanted to take it. And that's how I want to connect it back to the division is as long as they have a
Exactly.
clear idea where they want to take the division, I don't think there'll be a problem.
Right. And it gives me the feeling when I'm playing it, when I'm looking at it, the feel of it, I feel like they know where they're going.
Right.
I can't say for sure because I'm
True.
not them and I haven't seen the full game and
True.
I don't get to sit in on those meetings to see where it's going.
Or do
But
you?
but
Yeah.
but it's just the feel. So I'm just describing as I'm going through the game what I feel by playing it. I feel that there's going to definitely be more and that they have a solid ground on what they want
True.
versus playing Destiny and getting that, oh, we're going to change this, oh, we're going to change that.
Right.
I don't feel like when we get into the game, they're going to be like, oh, well, that high-end gun is too strong, so let's dumb it down. It's that way for a reason, and they've tested it, and we tested it. If there
Yeah.
were any issues, then they would have heard about it, and then they would
Right.
change it before the game is released.
Right. Okay, let's go back to the loot. So the main driving factor for the game itself, even though it's a story mode and everything else, but we all know the truth, it's the loot,
Give me
right?
the loot. Give me the
It
loot.
it's all about the loot. And how did you feel about the loot, just in general?
So again, coming into Division and having the beta be so limited, and then the issues with not being able to open those crates. I don't feel that we got to really even touch the base of what the game is going to offer. But as far as what I acquired playing it, I think I got a lot of stuff. I got a
True.
lot of different things. And it came from killing NPCs, it came from being in the dark zone and finding it, whatever, like, and
Mm-hmm.
taking it from other people. And buying. You also get to purchase weapons in
Right.
all these vendors.
Right.
The main portion of the story they didn't really sell too much, but if you're starting out, they had things that were interesting, and it gives you a variety to try out. But when you got in the dark zone, the guns got even better, and they had more of a variety. You were able to buy really good mods for those weapons too, and basically make it to how you want to play it. Depending on your strategy, if you wanted to be somebody that had more DPS, or you wanted to have more health, or you wanted to be more of a tech guy, you were able to strategize. And that includes those purchases. You're looking at each vendor and seeing what they have and what you want to get to give you that perfect ratio of what you need for your strategy.
Yeah, you're right. In terms of just having the sheer number of customizations, that also adds to the amount of loot and the amount of loot that you can collect. Like, you have your basic weapon, you have your gear,
Mhm.
you got your armor, there's your gun, primary, secondary, and your pistol.
Your tertiary
Yeah,
weapon.
so you got your primary, you got your secondary, and you got your tertiary weapon, like my tertiary education, which is what's fucking shit. Right. So, so you got your primary, you got your secondary, and you got your freaking handgun. Then I'm gonna call it what it is. And and well, that's three things that you can already collect in different grades of rarity. And then you got what? Your basic gear.
Yep, your basic
What
gear.
is it? Like your backpack is one of the things.
You had your backpack, you had knee pads, you had gloves, you had like a
All
chest
right.
armor.
So you had like different parts of your body already. Great. And then on top
Mhm.
of it, you had your weapon customization.
Yep, and everything has customization and different rarities too. So
Exactly. Yeah, the mods themselves have different rarities of it. And at the very end of it is what binds it all together, and that's the point I was going to bring it back. I thought that's what they learned from Destiny itself was the fact
mhm,
that you should have control over your overall appearance.
right,
I think that might be something that they got an influence from, or they may have fixed from Destiny, because or
right.
maybe they were just ingenious that they figured it out on their own, because We are not limited to how we look based on the gear level. That's on a
Yeah, it
separate
could
thing
be a
altogether.
mix. It could be a mix of both. If I have competition, I'm gonna be watching what they're doing and I'm gonna figure out what they're doing wrong
Right.
as well. So if I'm making a game that's similar, I'm gonna try and do it the right way. Um, on the flip side, I think that they already have a plethora of games that they provide a lot of this stuff already,
True.
and they
True.
just kind of, they just want to make it better.
Yeah.
They want to one up that last game they made.
Yeah. So it was good. It was good to see them that they allowed us to actually collect different kinds of hats and jackets and pants and boots that had
Yeah.
nothing to do with the gear
On,
that we're wearing. Just custom,
on
like
top of the
pimp your
gear,
guy.
then is the appearance. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, pimp your guy, and that was fun. I think a lot of times we were more jealous of each other based on what we were wearing than the guns that we were carrying. That
Yeah,
was
that
funny.
happens. It happens.
That
It's
was
like you
funny.
look so cool, but I can hit harder.
Yeah, who cares? Who cares? I look flashy as shit. So, in summary, about the loot, you think that they have enough variety and stuff in it to keep you coming back? Is that gonna help a lot in terms of just the amount of time you can play the game?
It feels like it's gonna be massive,
Yeah.
and I will return for more and more and more and more.
Yeah, I'm hooked on the loot as well. The whole extracting factor in the dark zone, just collecting different gear and stuff. I like the way they put it. It was nice. It was neat. Definitely gonna come back for more loot. So we're talking about the gameplay. We're talking about the loot. We're talking about just the basic replayability of the game. So finally, what do you think of the size and scope of it? Just the scope of Division.
The size.
Mm.
Yes, that's a good topic.
Yeah.
So at first, it felt extremely massive, and that's just that little quarter of the map that they give you.
True.
Um, by the end of it, it didn't feel so big in a way
Yeah.
because we've already explored everything.
Right.
But if you just look at it for what it is, because they did limit it, but when you look at it for what it is, it felt like it took a little while to run
It
from
did.
the base
It
to the
did.
dark zone. And when you look at just that chunk of map, and then there's going to be basically three more chunks the same size. Plus, you're going to have the dark zone's going to have like another two chunks of it, of that same size. Um, we spent quite a bit of time running around the map. I think that it's going to be large enough to really sink our teeth into, if you will,
True.
to lose ourselves in the new levels that we come to find. And then
Right.
if they have more in the DLC, then great. That's going to make it even bigger.
Exactly. That's true. That's a good point. One thing I want to touch upon is the fact that you're right. We do have to run, and I want to emphasize on the fact that we gotta run. So even if the map looks small, we don't
Everywhere.
have any planes like GTA or cars to travel from point A to point B. That takes a while to fucking run, right?
Yeah, I wanted
And
like a bike or something.
yeah, and just like we were talking about on the beta, they cut it down. So if I'm not wrong, I've heard the devs talking about the fact that they don't care about size, they care about density. So the same spots that we saw about encounters here for the med or the tech or some other thing, it'll be much more like the whole map will be covered in icons and different things that we can do, right?
Hmm.
Also, what I really liked about the fact that it's not like an empty, barren area where you just, walk around buildings. You get in the buildings. You get
Yeah,
underground. So they have levels, which makes it even more dense. I don't
yeah,
think I
for
have
real.
any complaints for now, considering the fact how limited they made it. Even the dark zone was limited.
Sounds like a topic for females. Like, is it big enough?
Hey, size doesn't matter. It's how dense it is.
Right.
So, Sam, what do you think about the overall impression of the size?
It's big. It's big enough that we can get so deep inside.
Is that your final review of the size? All right, Sam. So, in summary, what do you think about the replayability and just the gameplay factor of it?
After 1 day and 17 hours, I think I replayed the shit out of that game. Um, for the official game, I'm going to invest probably more time
So
into
you're not
that
bored.
game.
So you think it's high.
I'm not bored. Replay factor high.
So the next part, which I want to talk about, is multiplayer.
Multiplayer.
Thoughts on the multiplayer?
Like the whole aspect of it.
Yeah, yeah,
I like the fact that they allow you to build a team just off the rip. Like when you come in, you can match play.
yeah. That's
Um,
fast.
it was quick and easy.
Right,
On the other side, having the proximity chat made it so that you can team up very quickly
right.
again. Um, and then having the team aspect in it. I don't know if it's going to be 3 or 4 players. I heard it was going to be 3, but in the beta we still got to play with 4.
Yeah, it was.
But
Yeah, you're right.
either way,
I think it'll be
I
4 because they
think
already let 4 people play. They're not going to cut down one more person.
right,
Right.
right, and even so, like it wasn't too much. Like so, going if you had 5, then I think like, hey, that's a little crazy. Um, but 3 or 4 is totally fine. It adds a good diversity to the group, and it brings that multiplayer element. Like, cause how many people are in our clan?
4, 5,
4, and 4 or
5,
5, and
4,
then so
5.
depend. And if everybody gets it, we can like
Yeah,
actually
yeah. Play
have a
together.
group,
Yeah, true.
which would be nice.
Yeah. In my opinion, I think if you work together, you're going to be on an advantage. I
Yeah,
definitely feel like it. So if you got
yeah.
your A game on,
It's a learning process.
you got your guys taking different shit, like one guy with the shield in front and one guy healing from the back, you will probably wreck the other team if they're not prepared, if they do not have a strategy, right? And as for the Dark Zone, I
Definitely,
thought it was brutal and I liked it. Just the way it is, it's
it
perfect.
was.
I just wish that the entire area was Dark Zone. That's my only regret. But other than that, it was great.
Right. Yeah, I have a lot of opinions on that aspect of like what could be, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah. Well, we'll keep what could be on another video, like what we wanted from the division, or Division 2,
Yeah, yeah.
whatever. So,
Before and after, like before playing it and after playing it.
yeah, yeah. So, you don't want to add anything? Or do you think I summarized everything on the multiplayer pretty short?
No, I think you hit it right on the head.
Cool.
It's diverse. It's got everything you need to make a good, solid multiplayer aspect of it. I think a lot of people were playing the multiplayer, like they played the hell out of it.
Right. And it's just varied enough. It gets you a chance to test your guns against other players. It keeps you coming back. And, well, it's just fun killing other people and stealing their loot if you can successfully get out, that is.
I would say that playing Division multiplayer is a huge aspect to the game, and I don't, as much as I could play it alone, I don't want to go into it alone.
Oh, yeah, because it
Multiplayer
sucks being there alone. You just get wrecked. People are
Yeah, I mean,
assholes when you're alone.
you could be like a ninja, and
It still fail, dude. Unless you're like really high level, your ninja shit is not
yeah.
gonna help at all. And well, so overall, thoughts on multiplayer? What do you say?
Multiplayer was beautiful. It was beautiful.
I think we'll keep that. Final verdict. Overall impressions of the division. In 30 seconds, go. I'm timing you.
Division overall for me, the beta wasn't entirely what I expected, but it left me wanting more, and it left me with a good experience that I enjoyed. I can go back and watch those videos and say we had fun, and that I look forward to the game actually coming out.
Sweet. That was 20 seconds. You got 10 seconds left over. Sweet.
I can
Zen.
skeet over the rest of the 10 seconds.
Yeah. You can do whatever you want over the next 10 seconds. All right.
Oh.
Except for that. Please, anything but that. Please, no. All right. So, in my opinion, I love the game. As long as they keep me fed with more content, I don't see a problem playing it in the multiplayer. Just like you said, I don't want to go in there alone. I want to have a posse. I want to bring the Diabolical plan, and we're gonna kill and steal and extract that shit. All right. Final verdict. Would you suggest somebody to buy the Division?
That I would.
You would buy pre-order even?
Pre-order even. Hell,
Cool.
I pre-ordered it and I'd pre-order it again.
So in my opinion, definitely get the game. If you're a fan of Destiny, for sure, you're gonna enjoy it. There's enough content. Hopefully there'll be more. As long as there's more content, you're gonna be engaged. If you have friends to play with, you're gonna have a great time. As for pre-ordering, you can always wait. No one's forcing you to buy the game. It's gonna be out in about a month. You can just wait a few more weeks, see how the gameplay works, see more videos, and then make your decision. As for my decision of pre-ordering it, I'm sticking by it. I'm happy that I did. And I think Zen is for sure, because he's going to buy it twice, supposedly. So, alright, guys, do let us know how you think about this kind of videos. We are probably planning on doing more of our impressions on upcoming games, games we want to buy, games we think are interesting, and do a podcast as best we can do. Thanks for joining us. If you do like, subscribe, share. Check out Zen. This is going to be on his channel, hopefully. So subscribe to him and tell him what games you think he should be talking about next. Alright, guys. Till next time. Stay cool. Boris out.
Until next time, Zen Omega says, peace.